Administration changes over the summer left faculty members upset. We sat down with one faculty member to hear what led up to a heated meeting with President Heckler.
And some stations and founders have been closed. We have more on the dining services staff shortage and how it's affecting students.
We're going to have above average temperatures on through this midweek, and a cold front is going to bring some possible chances of thunderstorms. Stay tuned to see if those cooler temperatures will persist on through this weekend.
We have that and more. The first edition of 15 News at 5 starts right now. Thank you for joining us on 15 News at 5. I'm Jessica Burns.
And I'm Blake Harms.
The 2018 fall faculty meeting on September 6th turned heated as faculty provided intense responses directed at the university administration following an email sent to staff members regarding administration changes.
Basically, what I heard you say is you had a lot on your plate and you were able to unilaterally hire someone to take it off your plate. And yet faculty and staff at this university are being continually asked to do more with less.
I personally have friends who have half as many years experience under their belt, who teach at inferior universities, who make $30,000 more a year than I do. I have friends who are high school teachers, who have a master's degree, not a PhD, and who also make $30,000 more a year.
But community is priceless, and community is lost at Valparaiso University.
Get a more in-depth view of the situation from faculty and find out what it means for students. VUTV's Common Luft sat down with Dr. Amy Atkinson.
So, Dr. Atkinson, how did this entire situation get started, and what was the lead up to this explosive meeting?
We've been feeling the budget crunch for a few years, and I think students have been as well. Student org's getting less funding, things like that. And so there are the common frustrations that go along with budget cuts, right? We all wish there were more money. And so when President Heckler's email came out, I think it tapped some frustration because we're expanding the executive team during a period of budget cuts. So that's kind of the main lead up.
Yeah, and you mentioned President Heckler's email. Can you explain a little more about what was in that and then your initial reaction?
Yeah, he sent a very professional email just explaining kind of the changes in the executive team, that we had promoted multiple people to a higher level, that we'd hired Mr. Phelps as our chief operating officer, that we'd hired Mr. Brown to replace Michael Joseph. So as I read this, though, I was a little taken aback because the tone seemed out of line with kind of campus feeling. And I cannot speak, obviously, for everyone on the faculty and staff, but I do know a lot about the frustrations we're feeling, and the email came across as tone deaf to those frustrations.
Finally, what message do you have for the students of Valparaiso University?
I think my big message to you guys is that this is your institution too, and so you have avenues that you can use to pursue changes, right? You have student government, you have representatives on a lot of major campus committees, so leverage those, make your feelings known. If there are budget cuts coming to your organizations, make that known. If there are things besides the runaround that are frustrating, make that known. The university, I think, is very responsive to students, and I think sometimes our students are too polite. I'm not saying be rude, but make that known to administration and to your faculty that these are things you would like to see changed.
We reached out to the university administration, but they did not respond to our questions. We hope to get the opportunity to sit down with them in the near future to discuss this important matter. And for the full interview, head to our website, valpovutv.org.
Well, if you think you've had less options at Founders, you're not imagining things. Stations at Founders have different hours due to a recent shortage of dining services staff. We sat down with Michaela DeLayan to hear about the impact this has on students.
In cafe, there's always a lack of cashiers, or some people they're not evenly distributed. When I walk through Founders or through cafe, there are, especially in Founders, there's probably 1 and 2 in each station. As a person who has kept a consistent diet, if certain options aren't open, it does divert, normal course meal. If I say the wraps weren't open one day, I would divert to something else, and it kind of throws off something I've had consistent, let's say since the beginning of the year. I would like to be hopeful in make sure there's staff members in each area for both the staff and the students.
Now, we did reach out to dining services to hear more from them, but they did not respond to our questions. If you're looking for an on-campus job, dining services does have job listings on Handshake for people to apply.
Are you interested in publishing a magazine? The Lighter is looking for someone to fill their position for editor-in-chief during the spring semester. Applications are now available for the position, which will only last during the spring semester. To get the application, contact allison.shoot@valpo.edu. Applications for this position are due Monday, October 1st at 5 p.m.
It definitely feels more like fall. We have Heather Bricka in the studio today. So Heather, how long is this round of summer weather going to stick with us?
It's really going to stick around for just this week, and it's probably going to cool off, unfortunately, this weekend. Valparaiso is sitting at 90 degrees right now.
Cities along the coast of North and South Carolina are picking up the pieces after Florence made landfall. See the record-breaking flooding coming up.
And there was a major gas explosion in Massachusetts on Thursday. Now senators are calling for action.
What is passion? At Valpo, it's something that pours out of us uncontrollably. It's a late night shot of caffeine, cramming for finals, a jam session with friends. It sees deep into space, turns big stuff into small potatoes, floats boats and floods the senses. Passion is alive, it has a heartbeat, and it lives in you. How do we know? Because at Valpo, passion is who we are.
Well, I think that's all we need. Thank you so much for coming in. We'll be in touch.
Okay, this is it. Just shake his hand and walk out with your head held high. Don't mess this up. Thank you. Nailed it. Don't let a bad handshake get in the way of getting the job you want. Find out more at the Career Center.
Tropical depression Florence has continued to dump rain over much of the Carolinas, causing major flooding. The death toll is up to 17 and thousands are left without power. Jan Pomrins is in Myrtle Beach with a look at what things were like when the storm made landfall.
In Myrtle Beach, they are grateful for some things.
This was to be a direct hit from Myrtle Beach, and the storm just moved to the north.
And wary about others.
The thing that we're most concerned about is, of course, the flooding that has been talked about that will probably happen within the next 3 to 5 days.
More than 24 hours after Florence made landfall in North Carolina, the forecast indicates there is still a long way to go. The storm is at a crawl, dumping rain on already saturated areas of the Carolinas, creating dangerous flooding situations.
More people now face imminent threat than when the storm was just offshore. I cannot overstate it. Flood waters are rising.
Hundreds of people trapped in their homes had to be rescued, along with their pets. Crews from several states, some as far away as California, have arrived in the Carolinas to assist in those water rescues.
It took us 51 hours to get here, so we're ready for almost anything that comes our way.
While the storm's impact will be felt for a long time.
Somebody said the other day, it's like being stalked by a turtle. This thing will not move up the coast. It will not get out of the way, and we continue to just get copious amounts of rain.
In Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, I'm Jan Pomerantz.
The U.S. Senators from Massachusetts want Congress to look into the explosions that decimated homes north of Boston Thursday. Senators Elizabeth Warren and Ed Markey called on their fellow lawmakers on Friday. It's still unclear what caused more than 60 suspected gas fires in the same window of time and in the same area. They say Congress needs to hold a hearing to find out what happened and how to prevent similar situations. Homes are destroyed, one person is dead, and Markey says he wants answers.
People have a right to know. There's oftentimes a tendency when there are accidents like this for a company to huddle down, to try to protect their shareholders when their one goal should be just to protect the people who they are serving. And we're going to be here to make sure that happens.
You can expect a message from President Trump soon. The Federal Emergency Management Agency is testing a new warning system. The goal is to alert Americans to emergencies like severe weather and missing children. Most cell phone users will receive the alert Thursday afternoon. The message will be titled Presidential Alert, but will indicate it's only a test of the National Wireless Emergency Alert System. Major cell phone carriers, including AT&T, Verizon, and Sprint, will participate. FEMA will also test the emergency alert system on radio and television stations Thursday.
M&M's is going nuts with new flavors next year. The brand will supposedly unveil 3 new M&Ms. The 3 flavors reportedly said to be released are English Toffee Peanut, Mexican Jalapeno Peanut, and Thai Coconut Peanut M&Ms. The packages invite fans of the candy to vote on which of the 3 tastes they like best. The spring M&Ms offered up to 3 other flavors for chocolate lovers to vote on. They were Crunchy Espresso, Crunchy Raspberry, and Crunchy Mint. The winner was Crunchy Mint. It was then sold for an extended limited run.
I don't know how I feel about that jalapeno flavored. Coming up after the break, Heather Burka will have your full forecast.
VUTV, your campus, your story.
Well, if you thought Valpo has seemed a little bit warm the past couple of days, you are correct, because Valparaiso is sitting at 90 degrees, 84 in Gary, and 89 in Chicago. But that's not all. We are pretty humid. Our heat index really feels like 92, 86 in Gary, and 90 in Chicago. Our dew points are pretty high, which makes us feel very, very humid out there. Valparaiso is sitting at a dew point of 65 degrees, which is pretty substantial around this time of year, and 60 in Rockford. Our 24-hour temperature change has been pretty substantial over the evening. There's just 1 degree in Valpo and 6 degrees in Green Bay, but not to worry, our cold front will be coming through the end of this week. Looking at our current radar, it's really clear around the Valparaiso area, but looking at the future radar ahead, the cold front will be coming through right onto Tuesday at around 7:30 in the morning. So those temperatures will be dropping and our thunderstorm chances will be going up quite a bit. Now that system's gonna push on through, and another system's gonna come through on 5 p.m. on Tuesday. Now that system's going to push through all those clouds and they're going to stick around our area just a bit more. And on Wednesday, we have slight chances of thunderstorms on in the evening hour, right around 5 p.m. There are showers just south of us, and those might be coming up to the north during that time. Our future rainfall, Valparaiso will be getting about a 1/10 of an inch on Tuesday, and that will be definitely getting larger on through the week. So looking at our 7-day forecast, Tuesday is going to be around 86, partly cloudy, and our thunderstorm chances are going to be around Wednesday, Thursday, and possibly in the weekend. That cold front's going to come through, leaving Friday temperatures to be around 77 and drop 71, 72, and on Monday will be 73. So it will just be a little bit cloudy and a little bit sunny, but it will definitely be feeling a little bit more like fall around the Valparaiso area.
Valparaiso University had another jam-packed weekend of volleyball, football, and soccer. Starting off with volleyball team, they defended their home court at the Arc and claimed their third straight tournament championship. A 3-1 win over Cornell Friday night and a 3-0 win over Western Illinois Saturday morning positioned the team for another potential tournament title. A 3-1 win over Wright State Saturday evening secured the title for the team. Sophomore Peyton McCarthy was named MVP of the Crusader Classic, while sophomore Allie Cummins and senior Katherine Carlson also represented Valpo on the all-tournament team. The football team was on the road for a second straight week against full scholarship foe Youngstown State. 10 minutes into the game, the Crusaders jumped out early with a 7-0 lead, but the Penguins scored 42 points with no response from Valpo, ending in a 42-7 win for Youngstown State. The men's soccer team held on to a 0-0 tie against Western Illinois on Saturday afternoon at Brown Field, being the Crusaders' first draw of the 2018 season. On the flip side, the women's soccer team hit the road down to Indianapolis yesterday afternoon. A corner kick from Ava Porlier in the 87th minute gave Valpo the lead and win in a 2-1 victory against the IUPUI Jaguars.
Thanks, Blake. After the break, Heather will have a final look at the weather.
Good morning, Valparaiso University. What's a better way to start your day than with a new jam? And WVUR has just what you need.
But if you close your eyes, does it almost feel like nothing changed at all? And if you close your eyes, does it...
If dying young won't change your mind, baby, right.
Broadcasting sports, news, weather, and music on air, online, and on campus. WVUR is my jam.
So Heather, what do we have looking for in terms of weather over the next few days?
We should expect some high chances of thunderstorms Tuesday evening and on through the weekend. It's going to be pretty rainy and humid on through this week. It might feel a little bit more like fall around Saturday and Sunday.
Good. I'm ready for that colder weather to finally get here.
Me
Second
too.
round of summer. I'm not feeling it right now. But yeah, so when are you expecting the temperatures to like finally cool off? Like when's the breaking point?
I think after this weekend, we should really see those temperatures drop back down to the 60s, hopefully. It's gonna still feel like summer in the next couple of days though. Keep our summer clothes out and enjoy the sunshine while we still can.
Awesome. Thanks, Heather. From Blake, Heather, and I, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next week on 15 News at 5.